week 2 of the Why Her online Bible study. I'm so excited to be back here for another week. And last week we talked about truth number 1, we need to be honest.
That's right.
And I'm pumped because week 2 we get truth 2.
Truth number 2, I got it for you.
All right.
I got it for you. It's not one of my favorites.
Okay.
But it's something that we need to face, and that is to see it like it really is. Now, this is something I do struggle with. Maybe you do too. I struggled with it when I was younger, and even now, like I told you last week, I'm 51 years old, and I still struggle with it today. Social media has made it really easy for us to struggle with it. Because on social media, we see people's pretty pictures. We see their beautifully decorated living rooms, their remodeled kitchens, their things look perfect, right? But that's our perception. I bet if you got their perception in real life, it would be a little bit different. And I'm guilty of doing the same things. I don't like post all the
mess,
the yuck in my life, you know? And so someone could look at that and think the same thing about me, except for they would never find the perfect house part. But besides that, you know, they might. And so we really need to see it like it really is. And you guys, my daughter, her name is Haley Grace, and she's 16 years old. And I see this struggle so much in her life, and it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. And Nikki, I'm so glad you wrote 2 Bible studies, one for women and one for teen girls that can go along with the Why Her study. And we're not doing this in online Bible studies, but I wanted to tell you about it because it's so good. And it's Rachel and Leah, What Two Sisters Teach Us About Combating Comparison. I cannot wait to go through this study with Haley Grace.
Thanks, Melissa. I'm really excited that Lifeway, offered to do this teen girl version of the study. And I was a little nervous at first because, teenage girls, hello, I have 3 of them. So it can be kind of a struggle, but I love how it turned out. And, I really think that if a young woman can really get a hold on this battle in her life, it's not going to go away. But as she gets older, it's going to make the battle a little bit easier to fight through.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
I love that. And Nikki, do you want to let us know what the verse of the week is?
I would love to. So this week our verse is Proverbs 31:30, and it says, "Charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord will be praised." Now, you guys, that whole fear of the Lord thing, that can be kind of a little out there phrase. What does that even mean in our lives? So Kendra, tell us what it means for you to fear the Lord.
So what I used to think was that I'd be super scared of God, right? That he might smite me or something bad might happen. But now that I'm older, I realize it means a healthy respect.
Right, right. And we talked about last week how this is a battle to see whose truth we're going to align our lives with, ours or God's. And so when we move to this place of not being terrified of God, but staying in a place of being in awe of his presence and wonder in our lives, it's going to help us to see this battle for what it really is.
Right. Yes, absolutely. And I'm excited to jump into week 2. And there's a few things that I want to let y'all know about. One of them is Trish Cordell is leading us on the blog this week. And our verse of the week is, like Nikki said, "Charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord will be praised." Proverbs 31:30. And don't forget, if you get behind, that's okay, because we do have the Week at a Glance resource for you right on the blog, so you can go ahead and click it and download it.
Thanks, Kendra.
You're welcome.
Okay, why didn't we talk about the beauty is fleeting part? Okay?
You're right.
That's another comparison thing that I tend to go with, right? Old lady here. Okay, so one of my favorite parts of the videos we're doing with this study is going behind the scenes with you. So much of what was written, there's more to the story than what you might see. So let's go behind the scenes with Nikki Koziars.
Hey guys, welcome back to another segment of Behind the Scenes. I am so excited that we're here on the Fixer-Upper Farm doing Bible study together every single week. And not too long ago, I was at a speaking engagement, and a woman came up to me and she said, "Oh, Nikki, I just love your farm and I love hearing all about it." And she was like, "Is it just like Ann Voskamp's farm?" Now, if you don't know Ann Voskamp, she is this beautiful poetic writer, okay? She bakes bread every day and she has a dozen kids and she calls her husband the farmer. And it's this really kind of romantic story that they have unfolding on their farm. And when she said this, I was like, Yeah, no, not so much. Maybe like Chevy Chase Funny Farm. That's about the vibe that we have going on out here. It definitely is nothing like Ann Voscamp's beautiful, almost magical looking farm. And you know, people always are super excited about the farm because they love the animals and the stories and the adventures. But you know, this truth we're working through this week is it's not always like it seems, okay? And so for sure, we love the farm when it is 70 degrees and beautiful outside. But you guys, just a couple weeks ago when we had a big storm come through Charlotte and there was snow everywhere and everything froze and all the pipes busted and, you know, the barn flooded and the animals were just disgusting. It definitely was not a magical moment. And I think the thing that we have to understand when we're looking at someone's life and in a posture of comparing ourselves, obviously we tend to do that. And it's not always bad to compare. We're going to talk about that in the last week of our study. But I think it's really important to step back and go, wow, that is a beautiful picture that she just posted of her donkeys or her cows. But, you know, remembering that behind the scenes, there's a muddy mess and there's a, you know, pipes that are flooding their yard and things like that. And the septic system, you guys, sometimes the septic system overflows and it does not smell good out here. And so we love our life that we're building out here, but it's taken time. It's taken a process. And so I would love it if one day my farm looked like Ann Voscamp's, although I do think she special orders lighting just from heaven when she takes pictures because I've never seen lighting like that out here on our farm. But I've learned to see this farm for what it really is. It's a work in progress, which I know this is going to sound really cheesy. It's just like you and I. Like we're never going to arrive at this place where we look perfect, we are perfect, we've got it all perfectly figured out. And even when it appears that way to someone else, it's not really the way that it seems, is it? And I want you to know that that's okay. That's part of your process. That's part of your journey with God. And the more honest we get with this struggle, the more He's going to let us see things like they really are, whether it's, you know, something silly like comparing my farm to Ann Voscamp's farm, or something even more serious where, you know, we're comparing our stories or our beginning places with someone else. If you ask God to show you how to see things like it really is, He will do it. He is faithful when we come into His presence and ask Him to transform our vision. Because, you know, God has this perspective from heaven looking down on earth. I hope I never lose the awe and wonder of what it looks like to fly in an airplane when you're flying, because everything looks so small. And when we ask God to give us eyes to see like He does, it's because He has a perspective that is higher than anything that we're seeing down here on this earth. So I hope this encourages you. I hope it challenges you. I hope you enjoy seeing a little bit of the animals out here, just a glimpse of what it looks like to live out here. But just know that it's not always like it seems. All right, you guys, have a great week of study, and we will be back here again with you next week to encourage you, challenge you, and to give you some more behind the scenes.